Hey, good morning. Good morning. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. We are back
We
with
are.
going through the Alchemist. I am your host, ERDJ, your certified financial educator. We got Mr. Beatles in the building.
What's happening, everybody? This is Mr. Beatles, Mr. Wealthy, Healthy, Happy, your financial planner and small business developer. What's going on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning?
Oh, it's hump day.
It is something right along.
Good morning. Good morning. So, we actually just got to start the show started, but we've been talking a little bit. I guess we kind of pick up on the conversation because there must have been a reason why we were talking about it. And even as we are going through the book, The Alchemist, again, this book is fascinating. It is a must read. It is a classic. It's a thing you want to have on your shelf. I believe everyone should have a library, and if you don't have a library, at least have a place where you got a couple of books, and this is one of them that should be in your um, reading section. And so as we're going through this, we're talking about it's a journey of a young man named Santiago, and he is at a crossroads at this point, where we are in the story. Um, where he is, he's making he's got had a dream, and now he is starting to follow his dream. It's a new dream, I guess, maybe, from what he had before. He's a shepherd boy, and now he's looking to go and find his treasure, which is in at the pyramids in Egypt. So now he is starting to make the trek to travel to Egypt. And the interesting thing is, traveling is a part of his purpose in life. He said his purpose in life was to travel. So now he is going to be traveling to find his treasure. In order for him to travel to find his treasure, he's actually going to have to leave his flock, sell off some of his flock as well. And so we are in this mode of discussing life purpose, discussing the life plan, discussing fulfilling that which it is that is in you, instead of just going along with the status quo, going along with the norm, going along with tradition, because tradition will have you making a living. I think a tradition will have you just getting by. A tradition will have you being able to fit in. But many of us, we are square pegs trying to fit in a round hole. Everyone isn't the same, and so every path isn't the same, and every journey, every step along that path isn't the same. The American dream isn't the same dream for everyone.
It's not, and we get you see, but to the we only know what we're taught, right? And so you think about grandma, think about granddad, think about mom, dad, aunts, uncles, everybody that's in your circle. And so as you progress through this thing that we call life, they can only share with you what they know. And what we're taught to do is we're taught to flee from pain and go towards what's desirable. That's what we're taught. And so along the way, that's how we tend to live our lives until we get to a place where you can start making decisions on your own. And Santiago, in the early parts of this book, he knew that his mom and dad wanted him to go to seminary school and learn about theology, learn about God. And he was like, man, that's not what I want to do, man. I don't want to learn about God in that way. I don't want to go to seminary school because that's not my thing. That's your thing, mom and dad. He had to have the courage in order to do that. And we were just talking about how that's very similar to my walk, because I was a college football player and a student at the time. I had an academic scholarship, and one day life hit me like a ton of bricks, and I became inspired. And in my inspiration, I also heard this voice on the inside of me that said, look, every Saturday that you're going to have a football game, I need you to be speaking somewhere. I didn't know where that somewhere was because I wasn't a motivational speaker at the time. But I decided to follow that personal calling. And what ended up happening is that every Saturday, now I left school. I gave up my scholarship. and had to start paying my own way, and had to tell my mom and dad that they were going to have to start paying for college next semester. They weren't real happy about that. They weren't. But in following my personal calling, what I was able to do is I was speaking every Saturday that we had a football game. I had a speaking engagement, but it was because I followed my personal calling, and I decided not to do what was comfortable, what was convenient, and had the courage to follow what was on the inside of me, even though I know it was crazy. Sometimes even to this day, I look back and I'm like, man, that took some guts, man.
That takes some guts and some courage. And you said a couple of things, man. And number one is it's the same thing in the book. You said your personal calling, and one thing that they're talking about is your personal legend. Same thing. So it's a personal thing. It's something that you have to discover as you get more inside of yourself, as you become more aware of who you are. And Santiago, he's discovering his personal legend. And the interesting thing about it, and I imagine maybe the same thing for you, and maybe people that are listening too, as you think about your personal legend, you think about your personal calling. One thing that is stuck out to me in the book was that the calling or the purpose or the legend itself, it can't be told to you by anyone else, but it can be confirmed by other people. So Santiago, he has this legend, he has this dream that he's gotten, right? But then he's still going to talk to the gypsy, and the gypsy just confirmed what he already knew. And and then he had to give up 10%. He met another guy, the king of Salem, Melchizedek, who just, again, confirmed what he had already seen in his dream. He's like, well, why am I paying this money for people to just tell me what I already know? And it's right. Like, well, hey, sometimes you just need confirmation. You need validation to believe what you already know is true, to be right for you. It's your personal legend. And so there are times where you just need some confirmation, some validation to just continue to push you out into being who you are to be. And so I'd imagine for you, Mr. Bees, when you're going through this, when life hits you, not only did you get that calling, not only did you hear that voice, but I believe that voice was confirmed, maybe in the appointments that were being set, maybe in the appreciation from your listeners when you went and spoke to them. I imagine that there was some validation or some confirmation that came from the universe, some kind of way, into your life that solidified what the decision that you were going to make or the decision that you made.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just in this I was in this weird space, man. I had never been to a I guess worshipped in the traditional church, or been what you would call saved, but it was just this this amazing experience. And it was so physical. You would think that in the transformation you could see it, and we can get to describing it later, but there was this incredible spiritual change. And I immediately started to hear very, very clearly a voice on the inside of me that would direct me. And that voice has been directing me to this day. And a lot of times it even bothers me because I'm not always, I find myself not always doing as I should be doing. And there is this thing on the inside of me that it's on my shoulder every day, like, Beatles, now you got to be great every single day. And some days I don't want to be great every single day. I just want to be regular. But there is a higher calling, a higher purpose. And so what would happen is that as I was moving along my journey as a poet, I would run into people that would confirm with me the gift that I had on the inside. And they would say, man, you have this incredible gift, this powerful gift. Can you come and talk to these kids over here at the church? Or can you come to the junior high? Or can you speak at this particular organization or at this seminar? And it just started to happen. And again, I wasn't a trained orator. I wasn't a trained motivational speaker. This poetry just started to just kind of fall on me, and I just started to write and pay attention to it. And the more that I paid attention to it, the more opportunities appeared because I did.
And that is so good. You said a key word there, is that you paid attention, and I think that is one of the key things for us is paying attention. You know, like, are we really listening? Are we really paying attention to what the world is revealing to us about us? Are we really paying attention? Many times we let things like gloss over because we don't want it to be, we don't believe it about ourselves, but it really could be true. Whether it's good or bad, whether it's good characteristics or bad characteristics, it's more like, well, let's face the reality of the person that's in the mirror, and let's really see, like, am I really going after my best self? Because there's so much more that's in me. There's so much more that is yet to be revealed, that has yet to come outside of who I am, to be revealed to the world, to bring contribution to society, to inspire, to uplift, to make someone else better, that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. You know what I mean? Like,
neither has it entered into the
heart. There is so much more. I mean, there is so much more to all of us. There really is. And I think life itself is that quest to really maximize the gifts that are within you. How deep can you go into yourself? How much can you extract from the acres of diamonds that are within your own gold mine? How much of that? And many and I want to make sure that we understand that it's not just necessarily I need to monetize everything. Everything doesn't necessarily have to be monetized. I think that's where many of us, we stop because, like, oh, how can I monetize this? How can I make this make money? I want to do this, but how can I make this make money? Instead of, hey, I am going to do this and the money will come. Man, so many things that are on the entrepreneurship path, once you really get out, and even if you're not an entrepreneur, there are things that you have done that have been creative. You created something not knowing that someone else was willing to pay you for it. You're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to put it out, and then next thing you know, people are seeing value in it. Whether that's, oh yeah, like you said, you had all these speaking engagements. I'm not sure if you got paid for it, but you have more opportunity to get in front of more people in order to serve more people, to make your name be known to more people, which ultimately can lead to other things, that your other opportunities when you want to go back and speak, or you want to go back and present this, and this. Well, you brought value to a particular organization, and now you've built a relationship and you've built trust with them. And now the doors are open to whatever you might want to do, whether it's you want to use the facility later on in life to put on some event or something like that.
That's right. That's right. The paycheck is not the paycheck is not the end goal. And that is such a I guess it's a backwards way of of thinking traditionally, because, you know, well, if I don't get a paycheck, well, how do I eat? How do I make sure that the lights stay on and my cell phone stays working and I can jump on Blab every day, and you know, because I got internet connection. So there is a requirement, you know, to make sure that the bills are paid. Absolutely get it. But in that, there's also courage that's also required, a boldness that's required, an assurance that's required in order for you to follow your dream. And the dream is so close to you. A lot of times we miss it. And we miss it very, very much for the same reasons that Evan was just stating, is because we think that everything has to translate into a dollar, a conversion, a sale. And sometimes you just got to do it for you. You got to do your dream for you. Just like Santiago said, man, Dad, I get it. You want me to go and be a priest, and it's gonna, you know, it may provide me some opportunities traditionally, but guess what? That's not what I want to do. What I want to do is I want to travel the countryside and I want to see the world. Dad said, look, man, you're going to go out into the world and you're going to find that everybody wants to be right here in Stone Mountain with you. Right? That's what I'm talking about. Everybody goes to Stone Mountain. This is one of the world's greatest attractions right here in Stone Mountain. There's no reason for you to travel any place else but right here. But you know what? I'm going to let you go out and do it. And he did it. He said, man, well, if the world is out there, then I want to see the world. And the reason why I want to see the world is what he finds as he's traveling the countryside. He says, I could have never met God in seminary. I
Yep.
thought that was such a powerful line. I will never be able to accomplish my dreams, goals, and desires unless I have the courage to venture out. Unless, not to say that God ain't in Stone Mountain, not to say that your dream can't be found in Stone Mountain, but the reality is that the courage for you to step outside of your comfort zone, to do more, be more, and have more, it truly takes you to reach on the inside and say, man, I'm stepping out, and I don't care who likes it. I gotta love it. And if I love it and I love it enough, then I will attract those around me that are just like me.
And that's, man, that is, I put it in there. I put it in the title that it's my duty to realize my dream, because I think that there's a difference between your work and your duty, and it could be the same, but again, we must realize that in the story, Santiago is a shepherd. That's his work, but his duty was to travel and to see the world, and now he's on a journey to realize his treasure, which his treasure doesn't necessarily, when you say treasure, you could automatically think, okay, it's some, pot of gold. It's some monumental amount of money. But I don't think that that's what he's chasing at all. We don't exactly know what that treasure is, but he just knows that his treasure is in Egypt at the pyramids. It doesn't necessarily say what that treasure is. It's in our minds, we can think whatever we think treasure means to us, but that's a good question. When you say that, hey, I'm going to find my treasure, what is your treasure? What is it how do you define your treasure? Is it defined by some materialistic amount? Is it defined by some tangible thing that you can hold? What is finding your what is finding your treasure? What does that really mean to you? What is your treasure? What is it that you have to find? What is that? When you hear the word treasure, what goes off in your mind as it relates to yourself? That is a thing that is something to ponder on, because I think many of us, when we say treasure, we automatically think money. We could automatically think something like that versus actually finding that one true thing that moves us on and on and on. So we're talking about The Alchemist, guys, and it's a wonderful book. We're in part 1. Just want to give you guys an opportunity. We do have open seats available for those that have the book, those that have read the book, those that might want to share. You can feel free to hop into an open seat. Want to say thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Ward. You're always here. Thank you again for continuing to support Ms. Veda, Ms. Brittany. You've been rocking with us for a while. I appreciate it. We got a new guy here, Patty, the logo man. You make logos and interesting in psychology. That's cool. Create, don't consume. That's exactly what we're talking about. It's creating the life that you want to live. Don't be a consumer, be a creator. Fantastic. Miss Chef Sierra is back in the building. Yes, she can cook. And Mr. George Miller just joined us here. Let's talk about it. GM Interactive is putting it all together for you. Not sure what that is, but cool. GM Interactive. We had to check that out, see what's going on. Mr. George Miller Interactive. Cool. So if you've gotten the book, hopefully you're tracking along with us. We've been making some slow progress, and here's the deal, guys. All right, we may have first read this book for leisure, but now we are reading this book for study. And if you kind of read through the book and you connect with it, then you'll put yourself in a place of Santiago and ask yourself, what is your work right now? And then ask yourself, what is your duty? Maybe they align, maybe they don't. But use your work, use your income, use the money that you have coming in order to finance your future, finance your dream, finance those things that you want to do, be, create, or become. Use it as a tool, and don't necessarily look at it as, oh, I'm not doing what I want to do. Because if you say that, you could change that statement today. You could say that, hey, yesterday I wasn't doing what I want to do, but today I'm making progress towards my worthy ideal, and it has nothing to do with my work. It has everything to do with who I'm becoming.
That's right. We were just listening to Earl Nightingale's The Stranger Secret, and the The definition that he gives for success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, right? So you may not have been on your worthy ideal in 2015, but 2016, you have an opportunity to do that. Today, you have an opportunity to write down your definite major purpose, whatever that thing is for you, whatever you decide that your treasure is going to be this year. Start by writing that down. That becomes the first step in you developing your progressive realization of a worthy ideal, stepping into your success. What I also love about what Santiago did is he says, I'm not going to seminary school. I'm going to write my own script. See, and if we're actors in this stage we call life, then we have the opportunity to write our own script. Knowing that as we've grown up, there was somebody writing the script for us. And it is until you break third wall, until you decide, oh man, I can create my own situation. I can create what I truly want to do, be, or have. When you realize that, then you start writing your own script. From this point forward, decide that you're going to write your own script. And you don't need a fortune teller to tell you that there is something on the inside of you. There's a treasure on the inside of you. You don't need a fortune teller to tell you that. You just need to know it and believe it for yourself, because you've been telling yourself that thing all along.
Hey, two people just came to mind when you said that, right? Two people, and it's probably way more, but Ben Affleck and Matt Damon just came to mind. Why? Mm-hmm. Well, because they developed themselves as actors, and then they became producers, and they still act.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, they produce some of their own stuff that they act in.
Yeah.
What is that doing for them, man? That means that what they're doing is one, they're capitalizing on what they've learned from acting, right?
Yeah.
But now they're writing the script for which they want to act in. They can call their own shots, they can do their own parts, and they can produce it at the same time. And so you think about that, man. It's just like Michael Jordan. He was a basketball player before he became an owner. Now he's an owner who used to play. Like this is called evolution, where it's like, hey, now we're going to take things into our own hands. We're going to actually start to control. We're going to start to produce. We're going to start to create this thing that we call life. Instead of just being a part of it, we now are actually living it, and we are developing the life that we want to live. Evolution. I mean, that's the whole name of the game, man. Evolution and adaptation, man. We have to adapt. We got to adapt to this weather that's cold in December. It's crazy. I mean, it's hot in December. We got to adapt to this
in some parts of the world. In other parts, man, in Texas, they getting the business right now.
But the evolution, the adaptation of going to that next level, as it relates to where you are in life, and have you, man, here's the thing, guys. Have you really ever thought about where you really want to be? Some of us haven't ever really thought about it. Some of us are just kind of meandering around the world. We're nomads in this place, but we never really have taken the time to mentally think. And that's what he said. The Strange Secret said. He said, "What's the problem in this world?" He said, "Men simply don't think." And we'll play. We'll go do the day-to-day things that we do, but how many of us spend some time each day just to think, to meditate, to pray, to ponder, to think about our life and the life that we want to live, whether we're living it now or not? There's still always room for growth. There's still always room for progress. There's still always room for evolution and adaptation to become, and each and every day to become better than we were yesterday.
Flexibility is the absolute key. And we talked a little bit about that yesterday when Santiago was getting ready to find rest in the empty church. And what he did was he took the resources that he had. He took his jacket and he swept the floor clean, and he took the book that he had been reading all day and he used it as a pillow. Those are the resources sometimes that you have you have to appreciate the small beginnings in order for you to move into your
look at that.
What is that? It is the hardest work there is. Absolutely.
which is
Thinking
why
is the
so
hardest.
few people do it. Wow.
Yeah, that's a beautiful quote by Henry Ford, and very much mirrors what Earl Nightingale says about The Strangest Secret. But very much from the same school of thought. Men simply don't think, and sometimes when we think that we're thinking, you look at the results and you realize, what was I thinking? Sometimes you make these decisions and then you look at the results and you say, what was I thinking? And the reality is that you weren't thinking. And if you weren't thinking far enough ahead. Right. And again, we have the ability to write our own script. We have the ability to affect our environment. And you have to understand that you are the sun of your universe. You are what makes it.
And here's the thing, Mr. B, is like people do think, right? They typically reserve the right to think until they are between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
Like, oh, now their back is against the wall. The pressure is on. They procrastinated long enough that now they are forced to think, to come up with the solution to solve the problem. And they actually do. It happens 99% of the time that as soon as there is no other option but to think, that's when we actually use those capacities, that force that drives us to say, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make this happen. Now that I have no other choice, instead of freely doing it, we are pushed into a position where we have to do it. And it's only when we have to do it that we actually do accomplish it. Mr. George Fraser said, people don't change when they see the light. People only change when they feel the heat.
Oh, so
people don't change when they see the light. People only change when they feel the heat.
Yeah, that's man. That is so true. That's when you have too many options, when your success is optional, you may or may not do it, and you may or may not get there in the time that you decided to get there. Again, because it's optional. But the reason why you're probably not late for work every day is because it's not optional. There are consequences and repercussions for you being late or for you not showing up. It's called accountability. And we need to put that type of pressure on ourselves when it comes to following our definite major purpose, for chasing the dream, for stepping out and walking to Egypt to get to that treasure. We have to have that same level of intensity, and you got to train like a professional every single day towards the things that you desire. We're already professionals in our own stuff and the things that make us a living, but become a professional at chasing and developing your dream, and watch what happens.
So Mr. Beatles, when one second, when you say, here's the thing, here's the question, guys. If you do not realize your definite major purpose, what are the consequences? What are the consequences? Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's something I think that people need to really stop and think about for a second. What happens if I actually do not do, or I do not become that which I know I should become? What are the consequences? Who's affected by me not becoming? You know what I mean? Who is affected? It's a
cancer, hypertension.
You talk about stress. You talk about all these things that are. It's really like unknown what's really causing this. But other than there's some unresolved. There's some unmet needs. I said this yesterday. I said, do not live an unsatisfied life. Do not live an unsatisfied life. What's going to make you satisfied? And what are the consequences for yourself not being satisfied with the life that you choose to live? Because you choose it either way it goes. You either choose to live regular, whatever that is for you. You choose the life that you're living right now, but you can also choose the life that you want to live at any point in time. And you can start making progress towards that desire at any point in time once you put in the time and the effort, which is called work. The time and the effort, which is called work, towards becoming that which you want to become.
The time and the effort. It's It's so worth it, and you owe it to yourself. And again, when you don't, your dream that's on the inside of you, it desires, is requiring you to express it honestly. And the more honest you are about what's on the inside of you and how you express it, the more successful you become, the more fulfilled you are, and the more attractive you become, because you chose to express yourself honestly. And when you don't express yourself honestly, what tends to happen is frustration sets in, anger and resentment sets in, regret sets in. You have then what's called dis-ease in the body. So your body is supposed to be balanced on the inside. And when you aren't expressing yourself honestly, what happens is that you have dis-ease in the body, and it shows up in the form of cancers and hypertensions and headaches and migraines and empty bank accounts and broken relationships, all because you weren't expressing yourself honestly, but you were following somebody else's script. And so until you decide that you're going to follow your own script, until you have the courage to step up and follow and walk in the dream, walk across the desert and get into your Egypt, find your treasure, until you decide that you're going to do that, until you have the boldness and the courage to do it, and do it without reservation, you're going to live an unhappy life. And we don't want that. That's not what we're here for.
No, we are here to be wealthy, healthy, and happy. And man, that's what this show is about. We're continuing to go through The Alchemist, and that's kind of the question today, man. Your duty is to realize your dream. What's your dream? I'm pretty sure that you've had it. I'm pretty sure that it's been confirmed. The question is, are you going to decide that, yes, I am going to go after my dream? Yes, I've seen this before. Yes, this is my dream. And yes, I'm willing to put in the time and the effort to realize this dream. No matter what I see, no matter what I hear, no matter what they say, this is my dream. And that's really all that's important. That is my dream. That is my personal legend. And I'm going to continue to work towards that thing. There's some of you guys that are writers. Why haven't you written something today? Why didn't you write something yesterday? You're a writer. Why aren't you writing?
Aaron, you got to write. You got to write today.
You're a speaker. Why aren't you speaking? You are you're a coordinator. Why aren't you coordinating? I want to make sure that I'm clear on this, that what you do on a 9 to 5, what you do on a day-to-day to take care of your household does not necessarily have to match up or align with what your duty is. It could be your tool it could be what you're using now to get to where you want to be. Yeah. I mean, the world doesn't make mistakes. We make mistakes, but the world doesn't make mistakes. Opportunity does not just come along. It is there all the time. We just have to see it. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, matter of fact, let me read this little thing from the book. He said, and we might talk about this tomorrow, because I used to hear this all the time. It says, people say that it's the same thing, different day. And I used to always just like, no, it's not. That's just not it. But in the book, it says that when each day is the same as the next, it's because people fail to recognize the good things that happen in their lives every day that the sun rises. When each day is the same as the next, it's because people fail to recognize the good things that happen in their lives and every day that the sun rises. Is every day the same for you? Are you not seeing the opportunities that this world presents? Are you not knocking on enough doors? Are you not asking all the questions? Are you not seeking that which it is you desire? If you are not, then I would say that you are diagnosed with the same day syndrome. You got some same day syndrome. You got to get out of that.
Yeah. Hey, so he talks about that with the as he's walking with the sheep. He says, man, the sheep don't realize that the day changes. All they're really concerned about is the food and the water, and the only reason why they're moving into new territory is because I'm leading them. And so again, you have to ask yourself the question, who is leading me right now? Am I allowing my boss to lead me? Am I allowing my current career to drive and lead me forward? And is that the reason why I have not noticed more often that there's some beautiful stuff going on. You know, there are probably some beautiful people, some great people in your office space that you've never took the time to just say, hey, what's going on to it? Hey, how you doing? What's happening today? You know, and allowing that to be a change in your world. Because there's so much beauty, there's so many opportunities that are going on, and a lot of time those opportunities come in the form of the relationships that you develop. And so flexibility is going to be very important. Learning to adapt to your current surroundings are going to be very important, and learning to just appreciate and receive all of the beautiful stuff that's already around you right now, and being grateful for the small things that you do have so that God can make you a ruler over many.
And then ask yourself this, guys. Just like he said with the sheep, all they were concerned with was food and water. And you got to ask yourself, am I a sheep? Is all that I'm concerned about every day that I go to work, whatever it is I'm doing in my life, is all I'm concerned about is eating? All I'm concerned about is putting making sure that the roof is over my head. Is that all that I'm concerned about is food and water? If you are, then you might have a sheep mentality. You might be in a position right now where you are being led, but at some point in time, you become the person that writes your own script, and that's what we're talking about, writing your own script. So that is what we surviving. We want to do more than survive. We want to thrive. Do more than survive.
That's right. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Okay. Somebody said I am Andre Penny said that there's some bad audio going on. Is everybody hearing everybody okay?
Oh, look at Rebel. Rebel is over on the West Coast, getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning to listen to us.
What up, Rebel?
That's what I'm talking about. So, guys, we're here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern time. And so I know some of you guys it's 4 a.m. For some of you guys it's 11 p.m. Depending on where in the world you are. We got people that come on through this show from all over the world. And we're excited to come before you. We're excited to share with you, and we're excited for you to share with us. So just know that anytime we have a show, it's not a me show, it's a we show. So we do have the opportunity for you to come on to share your thoughts, to give to the world. My quote is that everyone has a voice, so let your voice be heard. And we're in the thriving mentality, not the surviving mentality. So going through the Alchemist, we're going to continue to kind of go through this, Mr. Beatles. Every day, something new is being extracted from this book, and so hopefully you guys will get it. It's The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. This is the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. I am your ERGJ, your certified financial educator. We got Mr. Beatles in the building.
Yes. Thank y'all for tuning in today, man. There are so many new people that have tuned in, and we want to make sure that you guys get in the hot seat next time, right? Again, this is a we show, not a me show. So make sure that you tune in, tap in, turn on every morning, 7 a.m. We'll be right back here. Make sure that you tell somebody. This is Mr. Beatles, your financial planner and your small business developer. We are wealthy, we're healthy, we're happy, and we're out.
We're out. Have a great day, guys. Hump day.